Greetings, viewership. Welcome to another edition of Pathfinder Kingmaker Mega Mod. This time we're doing a mod showcase of the Respecialization mod, also known as Respec, and Bag of Tricks. Because you might have been wondering, for those in the know, why I didn't just use the Respec mod last time when I instead just made the character again from scratch. Well, the main reason is that I didn't want to have to deal with the Respec interface, even though I could, and I can show you a sample of what would happen, but I knew that if I just started over from the very beginning, because we were pretty much there, things would work out fine. Normally, respecialization via this mod works, just like the likes and subscribes that you give to me that I'd like and subscribe to. So, coming back to this respec mod, let's assume that we wanted to respec and we just wanted to basically remake our character from the beginning. We would make this respec mod, and unlike the official Owlcat respec ability in the game, we can use the respec ability from the mod as many times as we go through with the respec, and it respecs the character from level 1 instead of from the point when they join the party, because some characters join the party at a notably higher level later. So, in this case, yes, we can change the ability points to give ourselves more ability points, but we're just going for the original because we want original flavor. Because, well, we're going for approximately tabletop difficulty. Normally this would cost 1,000 G, 1,000 gold. But with the Bag of Tricks, which was recommended to me by the author of the Respec mod, just come here and we can do a bunch of stuff. Like give ourselves an arbitrary amount of money. My favorite functions, as noted by pushing this button over here, are always be able to level up because I like being able to test character builds, and instant rest because it's useful for testing character builds. So, let's go back here, and don't be concerned that it's called cheats. You're just modifying the game. If you want to think of them as cheats or mods or accessibility options, so be it. It's your game, and do as you see fit. It's your time. So back to this. So let's assume that we just want to give ourselves 1,000 G to respec. Well, we just give ourselves 1,000 G to respec. We could also subtract 1,000 G, like, for example, if we gave ourselves an item that we wanted to acquire honestly, but it was just better for us to acquire it by some other means. We could just basically retroactively pay for it, or we could set our cash to this amount, 1,000 in this case. And yeah, we can just give things away or buy stuff for free, but let's just say no. For the respec cost multiplier, it's 1 for now, even though we could change it to something less. Respec in this case is from not from the mod, but from the NPC who does it. So, back to this. Rest and rations, well, I made this instant rest a favorite function by clicking this, and we toggle it by that. We can do the instant rest after every fight. That's fast, but most of this game is on a time limit, so I just say no. No rations required. Well, that goes against the spirit of the game. You can allow cooking and hunting in dungeons, so you can, well, rest there, and I say, sure, that sounds like a good idea. Because, surely we can find something to eat there. We will not allow camping everywhere because this might break the game. And if you just want to add 6 camping supplies, sure, do it that way. For character creation and so on, yeah, you can just tweak the values here. So for example, if you want to make the highest value 30 or 29 or 557, you could. And the minimum, well, is normally 7, so that you don't get stats of 0 or negative or less than 3. And you can change the default ability points that you start with. So for the main character, it's normally 25. For mercenaries, the custom characters that you get at Oleg's or your capital, it's normally 20, but I say 25 because we just want to make it even. If you want to set a caster level, sure, for whatever reason. I normally just say get the full HP value at level time because I don't want to have to just keep re-rolling or keep reloading, or I don't want to have to just settle for average because, well, things in this game can hit hard. I like always being able to level up as an option, but I don't always enable it because, well, I want to be able to play the game. Sometimes you just want to ignore restrictions, like you just want to start with something that you couldn't normally. Caster type and spell level restrictions? Well, sometimes, to my understanding, sometimes you just want to metamagic something far more than you normally could. Or maybe sometimes you want to cast a spell of an alignment as a divine caster that you normally couldn't. So, yeah, ignore. Yes, forbidden archetypes, well, sometimes you just can't pick an archetype due to stats or race or alignment or something like that. That ignores it. Sometimes for feats you require a specific stat like 13 strength or power attack. This way you don't need those stats. For classes, now you can pick classes regardless of your alignment, so you could be a true neutral paladin or anti-paladin. And so on and so forth. For experience, for example, if you want to enable this to be times 6 because you want to play a party of 6 characters, but get the same amount of experience as if you were soloing, go ahead. Yes, for weariness, if you want to rest less, go ahead. But again, a lot of this game is on a time limit, so I normally don't do it. Learn all cooking recipes, and yeah, we were over this. Cost and money, we were over. Party options. Access remote characters. Eventually, some characters will just be at our main base, so Oleg's trading post in the prologue in Chapter 1, or the capital afterwards, and sometimes you just want to be able to access them from wherever you are. There you go. Enable that if so. Show all party portraits. So yeah, it's good to be able to see all your party members and all your controllable units at the same time. And yeah, if you want to set a name, like Spot for a leopard, sure. Yeah, I'm not changing anyone's sex because it can cause problems. They say be careful when changing alignment, and I plan to. You can set a creature's size category here. Most creatures are medium, or at least most party members are medium. A bunch of animal companions and gnomes and halflings and certain other races start out small. If you want to set stats here, go ahead. I'm not messing with this stuff. So, for enemy stats, yeah, if you want to change their HP, this is where you do it. I recommend just leaving it be. Items and equipment. If you want to recharge all charge items to maximum, go ahead. If you want to just give yourself unlimited item charges, here. Ignore equipment restrictions. Basically, ignore the need for UMD for certain things. You basically get infinite item charges after combat, here. If you basically want to remove the armor check penalty here, and the max dex there. There are ways to just set these things to be non-nuisances, like having a mithril celestial chain shirt, but okay. If you just want to auto-identify everything, then sure. Sorry, if you want to add all items to this menu to be automatically identified, then sure. Yeah, buffs, just edit at active buffs here or change the duration of buffs. Feats, if you want to give yourself a feat or a trait through abilities, go ahead. I don't normally mess with this stuff because it can mess up characters. Spells and spellbooks, if you want to add spells to a character, here you can. For example, if you want to mimic having pages of spell knowledge, because those aren't in the game, sure, go ahead. Give yourself certain spells known in addition. For example, if you're an oracle and you want to give yourself extra spells known, sure. Same thing with sorcerer or bard or any other spontaneous caster. Yes, if you want to change the the ranges for certain spells, you can do so here. Because a lot of spells have a range of either close, which is normally 30 feet using the mods, medium, which is normally 100 feet using the mods, or 400, or long, which is normally 400 feet using the mods. Long lets you target stuff across the map if you have sight to it. I just normally use the tabletop spell ranges because I like them. I don't like having spell failure, and I just say out of combat only just so that, well, I can equip armor and buff and mess around with stuff without that concern. I really don't like material components. You can mess around with defensive casting and number of casts per day and meta magic costs. If you want to just say, oh hey, spontaneous casters can learn from scrolls, do it here. If you just want to have basically per encounter abilities and spells, you do it here. Kind of like in 4th edition. D&D, that is. Okay. If you want to turn off or toggle friendly fire or cooldown, there you go. If you want to mess with burn, if you're a kineticist, go ahead. Map and travel. Yeah, I don't use instantly swap party members because normally it isn't a problem, but I understand that it can just be annoying having to wait a long time to swap party members on the map if you're trying to bring a necessary party member to a quest that is not in your party already. Sure, I normally just leave these, the party speed. Enable teleport, because there's no teleport spell officially in the game, even though there's a teleport spell in tabletop, and I'm a Sor, so I feel justified in being able to teleport on the world map once I have access to level 5 spells. And if you want to just warp the party to the player, go ahead. For kingdom, well, if you have a kingdom, well, you can set stuff. For example, you can ensure that you always make a masterpiece instead of it happening only at 1/3 of the time. I don't use always pass skill checks or always pass saves because that just gets rid of a lot of the interest for the game. But if you want, sure. Yeah, you can modify some rules here. But for take a result, I normally just take 20 for out-of-combat rolls, because it prevents having to reload a lot for non-combat stuff. And yeah, this means that we always open combat with a natural 20 if we're using an accuracy roll, but I'm totally okay with that. If you just want to spawn something, sure. For example, if you want to spawn kobolds, or ogres, or giants, or golems, go ahead. And finally, for miscellaneous stuff, yeah, If you want to just find all the hidden doors, hidden objects in the area, click this button. I really like having summons controllable, because in other RPGs, in other games, summons are controllable, and that's how they should be, in my opinion. Yeah, if you want to disable negative levels, turn this on, but they're normally part of the game, and so normally I say deal with it. If you want to set the weather, set it. That's just normally aesthetic. Uh, if you want to set duration multiplier for your summons, go ahead. Summon level to 20 if you really want to. If you want to disable attacks of opportunity, you can. Yeah, quest timers quest timers just freeze where they are, or you can just stop the passing of time. I don't recommend using these. I recommend just dealing with stuff as is. If you want to be invincible, or pretty much invincible, go ahead. For achievements, you can unlock a bunch of achievements. Romances. Yeah, if you want to edit things. If you want to play some animations or some sounds. Here are some experimental features. Yes, I understand. And here you go. I'm not messing with the experimental stuff, but it's there if you want. So, for the moment, this concludes this mod showcase. Actually, no, I apologize. We're actually about to respec for real. Let's begin. And for our purposes, we're just making a sample character. I don't plan to keep it. But I'll show you what happens by just picking a character. That doesn't look so ugly. Sure, you'll do. I mentioned Inquisitor earlier, and we'll just go with that. Oh yeah, look at at the extra races you can be because of all the mods that are installed. Like a part Shadow Human. Sure, we'll pick this. I know that the character isn't visible here, and that's one of the reasons I didn't want to respec using the mod, but sure, we'll just trust that we have a character that looks correct. We'll just try Inquisitor and be a Sacred Huntsman, Sacred Huntsmaster, Jägermeister. This character would be at. Sorry. This character would be. Well, some. Sorry. If I'm going for Inquisitor in earnest, then. Yeah, I'm just better off going. Elf. But anyway, you get the idea. And then we just go on from here. This is a character that I've made a bunch before in this game. And I'll just, well, finish with this. For this character, sure, we can do Fate's Favored. Of course, we're picking the same flaw so that we can get a bonus feat. And this is a time when Nobleborn Rogarvia matters a lot, because this would give us Fireball as a spell known when otherwise we would not know it as a pure class Inquisitor. Yeah, because that's useful. I'm just skipping this so that we can get to the point sooner. Improved initiative and combat reflexes, of course. Improved initiative because we want to go sooner. Combat reflexes so we can make more attacks of opportunity. I thought we would have an additional feat, but so be it. Oh well. If we're playing this for serious, then of course we take Cure Light Wounds because we should be able to heal ourselves. And we go Divine Favor because that gives us a luck bonus to stuff, and we like the luck bonus to stuff.
A mere flesh wound.
And the strategy for this guy would be throwing his scythe. I thought I'd start with a scythe because of favored weapon, but okay, so we don't start with a scythe. Well, we can just start with... Yeah, we start with a scythe. And... yeah, interesting how we start with this Animal Companion, whereas with respecking someone else, we didn't. But if necessary, you can just rest and get your Animal Companion back, I think, and we'll go from there. But anyway, this is just an example of what happens when you respec, using the in-game respecialization option. For the moment, and for us, yes, the game, we are sticking with Sir Doan, the Sylvan Sorcerer, until it's time to respec again at level 7 when we are still being a Sylvan Sorcerer. Thank you, everyone. Good night, and God bless.